Hello, Marcus Giuliano here, international speaker, business author, Forbes Business Council contributor, and fellow restaurateur. Today I'm going to talk about one of the principles in my book, 50 Mistakes That Business Owners Make, the interview process of staff. Staffing is, again, one of our most dreaded things in the restaurant industry, and I feel that the sun coming in here in my window is shedding some light on this topic. So let's shed some light on the topic of interviewing staff. How do you interview? What are you looking for? Conducting proper interviews. So, and this is straight from the book, with a lot of added things to it that I add in these, which is why the Academy works so great. The Video Academy to go with the book, because I just go on and on and on. So here we go. When you interview somebody, you want to pre-qualify them over the phone. Talk to them, have a conversation with them. Don't just start sending people into your restaurant, into your place of business, and set up interviews without pre-qualifying them. Simple things you can ask. Are you working now? Just get a feel for them before they actually walk into the door. Establish a set of questions. Definitely establish a set of questions that you want to go over with them in their interview. I have some standard questions. You want to do some custom questions for yourself. You want to do a couple personality questions. And of course, people really kind of, like if you ask the question like, well, if you found $50 on the floor, what would you do? I mean, people know to say, oh yeah, I'm going to return it to lost and found or take it to the police. So there's certain things there's certain personality questions that you just can't, they're not going to answer effectively. But there are some personality questions like, if you're an animal, what kind of animal would you be and why? Look it up, see what suits you and your business as far as that. Role play with them. When you're interviewing, role play. Just throw out a couple scenarios. Say, what would you do with this? Or pretend answering the phone for the first time here. Stuff like that. Right? Just kind of see what they would do. Hire for attitude. Attitude is super important, right? I'd rather get somebody who I can work with and train with a great attitude. People that sometimes have the most qualifications have the worst attitude because you're not doing it their way. Well, guess what? It's not their restaurant, so it doesn't matter, right? You need them to do it your way. It's your restaurant. There's a restaurant in Virginia near DC, and I forgot the name of it, or maybe it's in DC. And this guy, one of the best restaurants in the U.S., he didn't hire looking at somebody's resume. He looked at hiring at their attitude. Resumes were unnecessary. They bought into the mission. They became a team member, and some of them had to be trained to do what they were doing, and it was working out very successful for them. So attitude is super important. We've all heard of the term hire slow, fire fast. I forgot who said that. Was it Stephen Covey, Jim Rohn? One of them said, hire slow, fire fast. And I like that approach. I like to bring people in. Hey, show me what you can do. Let's work a day. Don't quit your other job yet. Come in and work a day. Work 2 days. Don't quit your other job until we're totally happy with each other. And I tell people, hey, if this is not working for you, no hard feelings. If it's not working for me, I'm going to tell you, and no hard feelings, because I still want you to be a guest to come into the restaurant. Another good theory is hire people, get them on the bus, and see who's going to drive the bus, right? That's another thing that you hear a lot of business philosophers and experts say. Put them on the bus, figure out who's driving the bus. You'll kind of figure it out along the way where this person's at. You always give them a trial period, right? You let them know, hey, this is 30 days. After 30 days, we'll have an evaluation. This is a trial period. By no means is this a 100% guarantee that you're hired. Put that in writing and all that kind of stuff. Train from the bottom up. If they're coming out in front of the house, put them as a bus person for a night. Make sure they know the fundamentals. Maybe they need a bus person 2-3 nights. Maybe they need to be a hostess so they understand the levels of job. If you're hiring like a head bartender or a head server, lead server, or even an assistant manager, let them bus tables the first night, right? Let them get in and know what's going on. This is a team effort, so make sure your whole team gives you feedback on somebody. So if they're working 2-3 shifts, sit down with your trusted employees and say, hey, is this person going to fit the team here? Because they're going to tell other staff members, not things that they're telling you, right? So that's really important. Let them know they're here to do a job and that you're the boss. And the boss, you wouldn't have to hire them if the boss is going to do all the work, right? I'm hiring you to do this. This is my job. You really have to explain what your role in the restaurant is too, because some people get hired and they're like, well, why isn't the boss working? Well, the boss runs the business. The boss works on the business. The boss manages the bank account. The boss manages the promotions. The boss manages to get you your paycheck every week because you're able to do those things and the boss is able to do his things. So sometimes you need to, or you do need to, say who's in what role here, because sometimes some of these line cooks, they come in like, why isn't he knows how to cook? Why isn't he here sitting next to me cooking? I don't respect him and this and that. You would respect the boss much more if you knew what struggles they were going through financially just to get their paycheck out there. Okay, so that's kind of stops that. Check references, but don't check the references on their resume because they're giving you good references on their resume, okay? They're gonna give you people, they've already set that up. That's a setup, right? Hey, Joe, I'm going for a job. Can you, give me a good reference? Of course they're gonna say yes, right? They're not gonna list their names down. Look and see who you know on the list. Where we're at in the Hudson Valley, a lot of restaurateurs know each other, and you call somebody, they've heard of you. Hey, Jim, the owner of another restaurant. Hey, I noticed that Bob worked for you 2 years ago. I'm just interested in getting some feedback. Oh, Marcus, nice to talk to you, this and that. Yeah, Bob did work for me, this and that. I would totally rehire him right away. Talk to people, or yeah, man, he's not qualified for rehire here. So there's certain questions you can ask too when you do get references. One of the most important things is job description. Make sure they have their job description up front in the interview process. Here's what I'm hiring you for. Don't surprise them 2 weeks later and say, oh, by the way, well, I can't do that, right? And then interviewing takes practice. Interviewing takes a lot of practice, so keep practicing interviewing people, that is. If you have to role play with some of your staff, do that. But the more you're going to interview people, the better you're going to get at it, because a lot of times you're going to learn new procedures and you're going to be sitting there like, oh, these are new procedures for me. These are new questions. You're going to draw a blank. So that's a quick rundown. Hey, Marcus Giuliano here. So if you like the content that I'm providing in this video, you can get my book, 50 Mistakes That Business Owners Make, for free. Follow the link below in the description of the video, and there's a link to get this book for free. I will ship it to you. You just pay the shipping. I've got the books already here. They're already paid for. 50 Mistakes That Business Owners Make. 15 years plus of me documenting my mistakes and how I corrected them and how I mastermind with some of these mistakes and how I learn from others and what I teach my coaching clients. And again, this book is totally free, so take advantage of it while supplies last.